Morocco is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system under which ultimate authority rests with King Mohammed VI, who presides over the Council of Ministers, although executive authority is shared with head of government Aziz Hanach. According to the constitution, the king appoints the head of government from the political party with the most seats in parliament and approves members of the government nominated by the head of government. Parliamentary elections were held in September 2021, and observers characterized them as well organized and conducted without significant problems or irregularities. The security apparatus includes several police and paramilitary organizations with overlapping authority. The National Police Force manages internal law enforcement in cities and reports to the Ministry of Interior. The auxiliary forces also report to the Ministry of Interior and support gendarmes, armed police, and other police. The Royal Gendarmerie, which reports to the Administration of National Defense, is responsible for law enforcement in rural regions and on national highways. The Judicial Police, investigative branches of both the Royal Gendarmerie and the National Police, report to the Royal Prosecutor and have the power to arrest individuals. Civilian authorities maintained effective control over security forces. There were reports that members of the security forces committed some abuses. Morocco claims sovereignty over the territory of Western Sahara and controls approximately 80% of the territory. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Ceuta El Hamra and Rio de Oro, also known as the Polisario, disputes Morocco's claim to sovereignty and seeks independence for Western Sahara. Moroccan and Polisario forces fought intermittently from 1975, when Spain relinquished colonial authority over the territory, until a 1991 ceasefire and the establishment of a UN peacekeeping mission. The Polisario withdrew from the ceasefire in November 2020, and since then there have been reports of intermittent and direct fire between Morocco's Royal Armed Forces and Polisario fighters across the 1,700-mile separation barriers, the Burn period. The UN mission for the referendum in Western Sahara mandate was renewed on October 27. Significant human rights issues included credible reports of torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment by some members of the security forces, political prisoners, serious problems with the independence of the judiciary, arbitrary or unlawful interference with privacy, serious restrictions on free expression and media, including unjustified arrests or prosecutions of journalists, censorship and enforcement of or threat to enforce criminal libel to limit expression, substantial interference with the freedom of assembly and freedom of association, serious government corruption, lack of investigation of and accountability for gender-based violence, crimes involving violence or threats of violence targeting lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or intersex persons, and the enforcement of laws criminalizing consensual same-sex sexual conduct between adults. The government took steps to investigate officials who allegedly committed human rights abuses and acts of corruption, but investigations into police, security force, and detention center abuses lacked transparency and frequently encountered long delays and procedural obstacles that contributed to impunity.